question. I love making videos knowing that so many people who watch them are not even in the United States, like all over the world, different ethnic backgrounds, different perceptions, different cultural perceptions. So I'm gonna ask you this question. It seems a little bit random, but I wanna know, I feel like being enlightened. I am going on 38 at this point, April 28, 2019, a couple months, I'll be 38. A couple months from now, it'll be my 20th high school reunion. I'm pushing 40, I'm in my late 30s. I'm 37 now, but not for much longer. I'll soon be 38. My question is, you don't really see any gray hair. Now granted, I've got some there, but you don't really see any gray hair when you see me. And I don't dye my hair. I haven't plucked any gray hairs in a long time. I mean, there are some, but I haven't, it's not something I regularly do. I can't remember the last time I did that. So in theory, how do I stand amongst other men my age on a global scale? Is it somewhat impressive that I have no gray hair, or is that normal for a guy to be pushing 40 and to have virtually no issues with gray? Because there's some people who start going gray in their 20s, and I've somehow escaped that so far. And then of course there's the concept, well, your gene pool, your ethnic background specifically can have an effect on that. My understanding is Native American DNA tends to cause you to not go gray. My Mexican grandma, when she died in her 80s, didn't really have much gray hair. But my Italian grandfather, as long as I've known him, he had white hair. So I'm sure ethnic background has some degree with it. I've even heard one idea too, that Irish, people of Irish descent specifically tend to turn to go gray sooner in life compared to other European. So I don't know. That's why I'm making this video, so I can find out and I can learn from this. But it's funny because, you know, everybody, when it comes to their own physical features, there's certain things that like, oh, okay, well, I may have won the gene pool lottery on this thing, but not on this. If I could look at myself and say, well, at least one thing I got going for me here is I'm almost 40 and I don't have really any gray hair. You know, if I'm looking for something, because that's a thing. People tend to overanalyze things that they maybe don't like about the way they look, but then they forget about the things that they did get away with. And for me so far, to not even have to worry about like dyeing my hair or having to cut it too short on the sides just to get rid of the gray, it's one thing I don't have to worry. But take this conversation further. I guess my first question is, how do I fare with the average man pushing 40 when it comes to me not really having any gray hair on my head? Again, I think it's almost universal that once you get in your mid-30s, then this starts turning gray a little bit. But as far as my hair, no gray hair. How do I fare with universally in the world? And then ultimately, I would love to know any feedback you have about certain ethnic backgrounds or even modern day nationalities that we can even trace this back to. Well, you know, people from that area don't tend to go gray. Like for example, Native American, I had a Mexican grandma, it kind of makes sense, and even looking at her, but then again, she was married to an Italian American who always had gray hair, as long as I ever knew him, and I'd have to look in black and white photos to see him ever actually have hair that wasn't white. So, help me learn more about this. I think this is surprisingly an interesting topic, and I'm almost surprised I haven't talked more about stuff like this. So, what you got? Comments right here.